Hello, 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 and welcome to my podcast, Life with Jode, where we talk about anything and everything. On this episode, I am welcoming back Crystal for our part 2 of her journey. We are going to be talking about her social medias alongside her Channel 4 documentary, magazines and newspapers she's been published in regards to her weight loss story and much, much more. We're also going to be talking about Miss Bariatric, which is a pageant that we are both going to be competing in at the end of this year, 2025. So without further ado, let's get into it. Tell me about your social media so that I know that you're very active on TikTok and Instagram and keeping your followers updated. What else have you done if you want to go into your TikTok as well?
So I've got TikTok and Instagram. That's under Sleeve Surgery 2023. And on TikTok, I nearly have 50,000 followers, which a lot of them actually grew from my spider bite originally. So then they started following because of my spider bite, and then they started following my journey.
Very good. It's always nice to have people supporting you.
And then my Instagram, I only have, I think, 4,000 followers, which isn't a lot, but I've gained 2,000 within the last 2 months.
And is that related to Miss Bariatric, or is that just
That's to do with plastics. Yeah, right, related to my plastics. So obviously I posted a lot. Previously, like with my gastric sleeve, I never posted on Instagram. It was all TikTok. Everything was TikTok based. And then the last year I've been more active on Instagram, which is why obviously it's grown significantly in the last couple of months, because I've posted videos of my whole plastic journey of going to Turkey and obviously having my surgery.
What kind of stuff did you used to post on TikTok? I know obviously it's changed now because it's more focused on plastics, but kind of like, are you seeing similarities kind of in what you're posting?
I still post the same sort of thing. Obviously it's gone a bit downhill recently because I've been struggling mentally with the sides of plastics and struggling with what I see. I'm not posting as much active stuff as I was. But literally before my plastics, I used to do what I eat in a day, like daily videos of what I was having. Obviously being 2 years, obviously at the time, 2 years post-op gastric sleeve, and everything was been based since I started my journey. So I started a whole new account as Sleeve Surgery 2023 before having my gastric sleeve. So it was just the lead up to having my gastric sleeve, the countdown. I did this countdown that I've always done, and it was like a weird like shimmy thing, and I did it to the countdown for my gastric sleeve, and then I did it for my plastics. So I just carried it on from that. So if you keep going back and back and back, you see me when I'm like a bit more. And then I will do it again because I've not announced it yet, but I have booked a thigh lift and my breasts to be done.
Do you want to let us know where, when, how?
So I'm going back with booking surgery, going back to Turkey, having Dr. Yalcin, who's done my tummy tuck and my arm lift, and he will be doing a thigh lift, and I will have a breast uplift with implants. Didn't really want implants, but because I've just got skin, there's not enough tissue to like do just a sole uplift. But I do know as well, like I've got a bit here that's irritated me, so I do need a bra line lift as well. So that'll all be included with it, which I'm nervous for because I didn't want my back to be touched. But after wearing underwear today and putting on a matching set and feeling good about myself, it's actually quite nice that my incisions hide, and the only one I've got is literally just the vertical FDL. So it is booked for, I think I don't know if the dates are right, but I think I fly Sunday the 18th of January and the surgery's the 19th.
Next year?
Yes, next year. So I'm making sure it's all done out of the way because I don't want to leave it too long because I'm too scared to put weight on. And then another thing is if I leave it too long, I'm going to end up being more miserable because I'm struggling now with what obviously I'm left with from the incisions and the scars, but then I've got like bits that I don't like, which is the loose skin, and I'm like, I've had a tummy tuck, I shouldn't have loose skin, but obviously it's part of the back bit and underneath my bra, so I've now got, these are bothering me, so I need to do something about it before it makes me mentally worse. My thighs have always been a big issue because I've always been pear-shaped. Now I've actually got like an hourglass figure. I need my thighs doing, but I am aware because they go like, I've got a little plump bit at the sides. I will probably need an outer and an inner thigh lift. So I'm going to have incisions on the outside and on the inside.
Because I don't really know what goes into
Yeah.
plastics. I've never looked into it particularly. What about lipo on your outer?
I had liposuction. I paid an additional £800 for liposuction on the outer thigh, which is why if you see any of my comparisons from before, you'll just see that my thighs have dropped more. But the bulge is still there, it's just lower.
Right.
So it's not going to go, even though they've like drained and taken that out. But the only thing I've noticed since him doing lipo is they're more wiggly. So I've got more loose skin now. So I tried to go back to Dr. Yalchin, and because obviously the work he's done already is incredible and phenomenal. And I did a lot of research for him before having my 360 FD out and arm lift. So I literally went straight onto his Instagram and saw his work. And I thought, that's brilliant. Like, I like that. I didn't even look at the other surgeons, to be fair. I was a bit more like tunnel vision. I was straight on Yalchin. And I thought, like, he's my surgeon. So then I looked at the names of people that had commented on the videos, and then I reached out to them. I posted in a booking surgery group on Facebook of who had him, what did they have. And I had like them messaging privately of all their results, like before, after. So I got the full view of everything. So I knew what was to come. No one had anything bad to say about him at all, and that was like ticking a lot of boxes, because it doesn't matter where you go, someone has something negative to say, but everyone that I spoke to, touch wood, they all had positive outcomes about Yalchin, which made it a lot more easier. When I went to Turkey, honestly, I had to get told he is like a whippet. Like, he goes in and out, he's so quick, and you literally miss him. You blink and you miss him. So when the day of my surgery, I didn't get to see him until the day of my surgery. When I arrived at the hospital, they did all the pre-op tests, everything was fine, and then I was literally shitting myself till the next morning. And they said that I was going down for like 8 o'clock. So I'm like getting it ready, and I'm like, it's going to be in any minute, and I'm literally shitting myself thinking, oh my God, I've got to get stripped naked and he's got to draw all over me. Like, I just didn't know how to prepare for that. I think he came in at like 8:30, so my surgery wasn't at 8, and I was up well early. I couldn't sleep. And when he came in, it was literally take off, do this, and then he was like, stand over here, turn around, and he was like nipping and tucking stuff, and he was drawing. He was really, really quick. And then they asked if I had questions, and luckily, like before I went, I was advised by someone else within the community that had him to write a list. So I told him what I wanted, the outcome, and they laughed at me when I mentioned the belly button, because I said I want it to look natural, not big, not too small, and I want it to look normal, and they laughed. Because I don't know if it's because they've never seen a botched belly button, but I've seen so many different types of belly buttons. That was the one thing that freaked me out, because I do not like what I've got at the minute, and now I've got to wear like these plastic plugs just to like stretch it a little bit. So it is hard, and obviously because I'm still recovering with like a small opening just above the belly button, I'm like, oh, it looks horrible. Because I want to be able to get my belly pierced, and that's another like future goal. And then I mentioned my tattoos. I said, like, don't touch my arms, my back one, do whatever. There's a list of, like, he did say to me when he was touching my mons area, he was like, you might need an extended mons. And I was like, what's that? And then they said, like, it's 2 incisions down the side of your nunu, because they like stretch it out. So where it's like all fat, they then literally like give it a facelift, basically. It is literally stretched out. And then he said an extended FDL up here, because I had a lot of loose skin here. I mean, yes, I just said do whatever, because he comes in every day, every single day he came in without failure, just to check everything, and he stripped me down. And with my the compression with the compression, it was meant to go like under your boobs, but because my boobs are like so squishy, and I felt uncomfortable with my tits just hanging out all the time, I literally, it came in once and I took them in my compression, and he was like looking at me going, where are they? I went, I don't have none. And then he laughed, because it's literally like, I knew I had to get my boobs done obviously there and in there, but I was a bit iffy. But literally in my compression, I just hid it down. So when he did me back up, I quickly tucked him in. And on the day that I was flying back was a Saturday. Weekends he doesn't work. No surgeon works weekends because it's the day off. But on the Saturday he actually came in to see me because I had 1 drain left. Was it 1 drain? No, I had 2 drains left. So I was actually left with 5 drains. when I first woke up, and I crapped myself thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna have loads. But when I had 5, I was actually more calm. I didn't think 5 was a lot at all. And then the day after, they took away one, and I was like, what? Because I didn't think I was ready for any of them to come out. But then I had 2 left towards the end, and I was like, I'm not going home. I'm not flying if I've still got them. So if he comes and says that I need to keep them, I will be staying. And that was like, I did speak to my coordinator, and I was willing to pay extra just to stay, because I did not want to run the risk of going to the airport with drains, because it's an open wound. I weren't going to do it. Like, that's my personal like preference. Like, I would not do that. But he come in and he checked the millimeters, and he was like, yeah, they're out. And I was also scared of the removal of the drains. That was like a big fear, because I had drains with my gallbladder, and that felt disgusting. But that was internal, whereas these were between your muscle and your tissue, like your skin. So when he first removed them, I was literally crapping myself. I remember saying, Mum, is it done? Is it done? But he just pulled them out, and I was like, it's done, because I couldn't feel it. I didn't feel anything, so I guess I was numb, so I'm quite lucky.
It's intriguing because I've not had plastics before, and sometimes you don't see or hear stories. So
No.
I find it quite intriguing. No hating you not doing any research on booking surgery, because I didn't either. All I did was ask a friend who they went with, because they went with that company. I thought, okay, right, good company. And then the more you talk about it, the more you find out that other people have gone with them as well. And then when my coordinator that I found ended up giving me 2 different options on surgeons, I looked them both up and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll go for him. So I went with Dr. Ali, is it Tardu or something like
Yeah.
that? I can never pronounce his last name and I feel really bad. But lovely surgeon, can't fault him whatsoever. Came in, I think, near enough every day after my surgery, made sure all my incisions were okay, felt my stomach. So he did a lot of the post-op aftercare,
Yeah.
making sure that what his work was going right. And then obviously the nurses are just there to
Yeah.
give you pain meds when you need it and make sure you're walking and talking and breathing and drinking.
I think the booking surgery nurse is really good, because obviously they're good for translating. But didn't, even in both places, like the first one when I had my gastric sleeve, the hospital that I was at, they were straight in. As soon as I hit that call bell, they were straight in. Whereas, like, obviously here in the NHS, if I press that call bell, I'm waiting like ages, even if I'm in like severe pain.
Have you been on or in anything?
Yes, so I did a Channel 4 documentary, which was actually broadcasted. I thought it was going to be broadcasted on the app or on TV, but it was actually a YouTube documentary. So prior to going for my gastric sleeve in 2023, I was contacted in the December. They literally rushed me. They were like, got so much detail as they could off me. And when they knew that my surgery was happening on, I think it was the 9th of January, they were like, oh, that's really soon. We need to get you in. So it was on the 6th of January. They actually rushed me to Leeds, and I did my first filming. And I actually comfortably took off my whole gear. And I was like, because they didn't ask for that, but I said, I'm happy to just go in my underwear. So you could just see, obviously, comparison, because they wanted to do a whole before after sort of aspect. And the documentary series was called The Other Side. So it's basically the other side of my weight loss. And there was different things in the series, like there was someone dealing with addiction, someone from, I think Love Island was in the series, like before Love Island and then after Love Island. So mine was literally just about my gastric sleeve. And then they did all the filming before, they asked me questions, and this is prior to my nan dying as well, so there was a lot about my nan spoken. And then they brought me back in November, which wasn't quite a year after my surgery, I was quite disappointed. But they did put that in the documentary. Obviously, I was only so many months gone, so I was only 7 stone down, not anywhere where I wanted to be. So I was really disappointed it wasn't a year. But they did air it when I was a year post-op, so I was kind of bittersweet, I guess. When I did my second recording, they obviously asked questions before. When they were asking me questions, they had a TV screen, so I think they asked me the question first, and then I had to watch myself back on what I said last year. So it was really difficult, because when I'm looking back and I'm thinking, I don't even, like, who is that? Because it's this bigger person, and I really didn't realise how big I was. And I'm watching, I know obviously TV makes you look bigger anyway,
I was
but
about to say, pictures and videos and
yeah,
TV makes you look like 10 stone heavier.
looking at this TV screen and I'm like, what the hell? And it was just crazy to think, how is that me? And then I don't know if they're going to do anything moving forward, but I have like put my foot in the door and messaged them. Obviously, I've had my plastics because they knew that that was on the obviously the road, and they did like the idea of obviously looking back through all three of them, but I haven't had anything back, which is a bit gutting. Through the whole last 2 years I have had newspaper articles and magazines for my weight loss and for the spider bite.
And now you're on a podcast.
Yes, my first ever one.
You're hitting all angles here.
Got another one actually Wednesday evening. I've got one with Hayley.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I'm doing that on Wednesday evening, so I'm kind of glad like I did this first, so I would have cacked my pants because I don't have a clue.
She's so easy to talk to. It's like being with her. I've not done my side of her podcast yet, so I don't know how she presents it. But I can imagine it's probably just asking questions like
Yeah.
you, and obviously just anyone does really.
So I've done a couple of magazines. I have done Pick Me Up for my spider bite, and then I have done Chat Magazine for my weight loss, and that was in regards to my pole fitness. So they wanted to do a story about me doing pole fitness, and that was all of this was like published. So I had my spider bite happened beginning of 2023, and the first magazine from Pick Me Up was actually published in September, October. So it was a long time to be published. And then a reprint was done for like the summer issue last year, and that was done in the June. And then the July was when my pole fitness article came out in the July, which was literally after the reprint of my spider bite. So I had that based on my weight loss. And then recently, literally since we went to like Miss Bariatric and we did the content day, I think it was from that actual day or just the day after, I then was published. I don't even know how it happened or what happened, but I was then published in the Sun newspaper and the Daily Mail. And then I was getting messages from a company, like, I can't remember their name. They're like a company that share your story with like multiple people, and then when they get a bite, they then contact you. So like they were sharing my story from previously, obviously they've done it from my spider bite and from my weight loss, and then this obviously because Miss Bariatric was added into it, and I just had my plastics, so that was all something new to the story that was added. And then I didn't even, they said that I might be in a newspaper on Sunday printed, but I wasn't in the end. And then on the Monday they were like, oh actually you're in the Sun, and it's like, okay. And it literally just, I don't even expect it because I knew something would happen, but I didn't expect it to be printed, especially in the Sun, because the Sun come out of crap anyway. When they did my spider bite, they literally said my finger was gonna like fall off, or it was just my finger was gonna explode, and that is not what I said. They exaggerated it.
A
So
lot of
yeah,
magazines exaggerate stories. It's just to get the headlines and get people.
yeah. And that's what I thought when I saw it. And then I was contacted on the Tuesday. Was it the Tuesday? I think it was same day actually. I think it was Monday afternoon, because this morning actually wanted me to go onto TV, but I can talk about it now because I've actually declined. My mental health isn't very good and I don't do well with live TV, and I've learnt that from last year. On my 30th birthday I went on Big Brother's Late and Live, and I spoke to Will Best on live, and I literally messed up because I was talking about something that not even happened, and then he corrected me and I was like, oh yeah.
If people are watching this on YouTube, you can all see that we've both now got our Miss Bariatric pageant sashes on. Something that both me and Crystal are participating in. Do you want to tell us why you've decided to participate in Miss Bariatric this year?
So I originally actually wanted to participate last year and I did apply, but this is before my plastics, before having that confidence of just going for it. And I am the type of person that will throw myself in the deep end, no matter how much I'm going to struggle, because I know I've got no choice. I have to do it. So last year I did apply, and then I was like, yeah, I can't. And it wasn't the right time. I think I knew I'd try again the year after, simply because I knew I would have had my plastics, would have my tummy tuck, and I'd have more confidence, even though my confidence is getting there. So I applied simply because I think I looked at it as if, when am I ever going to do this again? And it's not like it's just any old beauty pageant. It is strictly for bariatric. So it's like, it's part of my journey. So it's something that I want to accomplish. It's something that I just want to tick off my book, like, look what I've actually achieved. And you never know, like, what's going to follow, what can come afterwards. Like, I was quite big-headed when I applied for Miss Bariatric. I actually applied for Miss Great Britain too. And when I was in Turkey helping with plastics, I got a text and an email to say that I was shortlisted. And that's when I freaked the hell out. But even, obviously, we both got the same sponsor. We both got Booking Surgery, who sponsor us both. Booking Surgery were going to pay the £600 for Miss Great Britain and put me in for it. And my mum was like, just go for it. And I was like, I don't have a clue about pageantry. I'm not the type of person. I'll chuck on joggers and just go out. Like, I've got 3 kids. I don't put makeup on every day. I'm not very, like, I don't do that sort of stuff. So I actually did turn it down because I wasn't even selected anyway. I was shortlisted and I'd have to go through Zoom calls to obviously get to that bit. And then if I was picked, I can only win, or I can only go in for one of them. So it's either Miss Bariatric or Miss Great Britain. I can't remember which way it was, but this was my last chance to do Miss Great Britain as a Miss as well, because it cut off is the age of 30. And obviously I turned 30 in November. So then I would be just in it, because it would be just before I was 31. So that was like, oh, it's my last chance, it's my last shot. And I kind of really wanted to do it just for the sake of Miss. But then I was like, nah, if I want to do it, I can do it in the future. And obviously with how difficult my anxiety is with Miss Bariatric, I'm a bit like, I'm so glad I didn't do it. But I've literally gone in for this one wholly because it's part of my bariatric journey. And I know full well my 8-year-old little self will be so proud of me. Like, she'll probably be saying, what the fuck, but...
So, not too sure if you knew about this about me. I've mentioned it a few times before. I was actually meant to do last year's Miss Bariatric, but I ended up pulling out due to a couple of reasons. One being the fact that I couldn't afford it at all. But there was also other reasons why I pulled out, which I regret. But we live and we learn, and we move on.
They
And
say
that's
everything happens for a reason, and there's a good
exactly.
like we're Booking Surgery, we're both in the same pageant. There's a reason why.
And that is why I'm here in
Yeah.
2025, doing it this year, doing it for me, doing it for the empowerment, the confidence, pushing my boundaries. Like you, something I've never done before. We've got to give it a go. And if I don't like it, I don't have to do it next year or anything similar to it ever again. Or if I do like it, miss everything in my way. Obviously, you wanted to do it for the kind of like empowerment and the confidence, and you wanted to prove to yourself that you can do something like this. Is there any other reasons to why you want to do it?
Partly it's my kids as well. My kids have always seen me struggle, not want to play with them, not go out, and my confidence. So some of it is the kids as well, for them to also know, especially with them having special needs like ADHD, autism, that sort of stuff. I just feel they can achieve everything as well. It doesn't matter. Like, I know obviously I had to lose the weight and obviously be on a bariatric journey to go through this step, but I don't look at it that way. I just look at it like, 2 years ago, would I think that I'd be here right now? No way. And even when we went to that content day, I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And that morning I had a meltdown. I was like, yeah, I'm not going. No, I'm not going. And it's easier to just give up. And that is the worst thing. Negativity is easy to just spread that. And giving up is the easiest thing. It's fighting for things that you want or what you want to achieve that makes it harder. And then you just overthink it all. And I think just doing this, proving it to my kids, especially Poppy. Poppy's such a princess and a drama queen. Like, she keeps saying she wants to do a fashion show and she wants to walk up and down the hallway just to do a fashion show. It is nice for the kids to just think, if mum can do this, then I can put my mind to something and I can do it. And then part of it as well is my nan. Before she died, my sister got voice notes, which I didn't know about until she was obviously on her bed, and my sister told me, and I listened to one. And then I found out there was a second one, because she obviously messed up, so she had to redo it. This voice note, it says, I want you to have a lot more confidence with yourself. I need you to put yourself out there, basically saying, all she wants for me is what I've always wanted for myself, which is the confidence. And this, I think, is going to bring a hell of a lot of confidence. I mean, it takes confidence to even try and be in a part of something like this, because obviously, like I said, I nearly backed out last week, and it is hard. But I know I've got too many people that are in my corner that I just feel like I have to do it. And then as well with booking surgery, because they are sponsoring me, I then feel I have to do it for them. I have to do it for myself. I have to do it for my 8-year-old little girl, like the little girl that I was. I have to do it for her. I have to do it for my kids. Even my husband, he's beyond proud of me in every achievement that I've done, and I can't ask for anything more. And then I have to do it for my nun.
The next question on my list was, have you always wanted to do beauty pageants? I'm guessing from what you said earlier that it isn't. Do you ever think that you'd have done something similar to a pageant as a child, or do you think no, not
No,
really?
it's really weird because growing up, I loved babies and prams and pushchairs, and I always wanted to be a young mum. And that was always going to be my goal. Obviously, I had Ethan when I was like 19, 20, but he's from a previous relationship. And then I found the right relationship and then had 2 more children, like really close together. But all I ever wanted was like the family life. I wanted to be married. I didn't have it down or planned to have it how I wanted it because I wanted to get married, then have children, but I did it the other way around. And then I kind of feel like I was a letdown for my mum because my sisters, they're 10 years older than me. They got married, they had kids, they did it in the right order, whereas I didn't. So I did feel like I was a bit of a black sheep of the family. But no matter what, my mum has always been there for me. Even through my hard times, mum's been there.
For Miss Bariatric, I am doing it on the cheap because, again, I don't have much money, but I'm not as bad as last year. So a lot of obviously we are being kindly gifted our evening wear from Bon Vivant dresses, and my dress, stunning. I've kept it a secret, but I feel like everyone can guess which one I've gone for. But other than that, all my other outfits that I've not ordered yet will be ordered from places like Shein because I'm going to do it on a budget. How are you doing yours? Are you going to be splashing the cash? Or are you going to be dipping and dapping into Shein and something more elegant? Or
I literally everything. So like I haven't got a budget in mind. There's no like cost. There's nothing. So it's whatever I want, I'll get it if I like the look of it. But I've gone for like a theme of green, pink, and gold, mixing them up a bit. So my interview, I've gone for a certain colour and I've matched it with all my other outfits. So you've got obviously the swimwear. Swimwear, I did get a couple of things that I tried on yesterday and I do not like them. So they are going back. Swimwear, I think, is the hardest round because obviously now that I've got a new body as well, I'm jiggling my jiggly bits that are bottom with my thighs, like they're all jiggling about and they're not looking right. And then obviously I've got some loose skin, like I said, that's bothering me at the top here. So swimwear is a challenge, but I've got my little black dress is actually from Tesco. And then obviously we have been gifted our evening wear, and the dress that I originally was going to go for was purple. And I did seem more confident in it, but I think that was masking the way I was just like flaunting it. I don't know if you ever saw me in that purple dress.
God, you know what? I can't even remember much from that day, if I'm honest. It was a busy day. It was a
It was a
4 hour
lot.
drive there, 4 hour drive back, and a very long day.
It was a
I'm
lot.
pretty sure I did, and I'm pretty sure I've got a video saved on my phone somewhere. I vaguely
Well,
remember.
purple's my colour. Purple's my favourite colour, but since the last 6 months, green has been like that's been really like a favourite colour as well. So this purple dress, I literally come out and I was spinning around in it and I was literally like flaunting it. But I think I was generally masking without realising because everyone was like, oh yeah, work it and whatever. And I'm like, why did I do that? Because I didn't even realise that I was doing it. But I liked the dress, took a photo of it, obviously in the changing room, but I was like, it's not for me. It's really not for me. And it's because it was like boobed here and it was really nice, but then it was like flat. I've got a figure now. I've had a tummy tuck. Like I need to flaunt this figure, and that's the idea of all my outfits so far have been waist based. So yeah, I don't have a budget. I'm literally just going for whatever will suit and fit the bill.
I've not got anything apart from the dress that we got gifted. I've got nothing. Nada. I had loads in my Shein basket. I've not got anything planned. I don't know. I know that I want a colour theme type of thing. I'm gonna kind of like look a bit closer to the
Yeah.
time on stuff. But I don't know if I want to go big or go home type of
Yeah.
thing, or if I want to just dull them down a bit. Like not me, because I don't feel like I'm dull, but You know what I mean?
Yeah. You have to do what's best for you as well, because as long as like you feel comfortable and you know it is you, like that's really like what part of Miss Bariatric is about, isn't it? It's about your time to shine, basically.
Exactly. So the last thing I really want to talk about with Miss Bariatric is the kind of like fundraising side of things. We are raising funds for cancer research.
Because it's obviously just going under the whole bracket of cancer research, because I'm very like particular with my nan's diagnosis, my sister's obviously my sister having breast cancer. So if I was going to do like a sideline, what is it, like a topic, like bowel cancer and breast cancer would be, I'd want to raise that for their specific charity. But as this is like literally cancer research as a whole, then I will raise money just for like obviously cancer research as a whole, like all of it, yeah. And my idea for that is because it's based on my surgery and my journey, I have a shit ton of clothes that no longer fit me since having my plastics. So I have got a huge job, and I know Stephen keeps nagging me like, when are you going to go through the clothes? Because I do take up his wardrobe, and I've taken up a lot of drawers, and I've got bags of stuff everywhere. I've even got bags at my mum's house that I've just stored. But I need to go through all these clothes, and I'm going to list them on Vinted, and every single penny, like anything that I get for any of the clothes that I sell, will be going straight to Cancer Research UK. And that's just because it's part of raising the money for obviously Miss Bariatric, and it goes in favour because I'm selling the old clothes that no longer fit me. And I've already bought new clothes, so it's not like I need the money to reimburse me. I've already spent the money. The money's gone for like new clothes.
I have to completely agree with you in the fact of there is bags and bags of clothes. Literally, you should. Obviously, you guys only see one part of my room, which
Yeah.
is literally the corner of the room. If I did a panorama or whatever it is of the rest of the room, it is a box full of underwear that no longer fits me, that I've probably worn never or worn once. I have a bag full of clothes that my mum has asked me to try and sell. A bag full of winter clothes and holiday clothes that I need to sell. And I've started taking pictures the other day on Saturday, I think it was, while Kyle was doing some painting. And I've got about another half a bag to get through. And procrastination is key for
Yeah.
me. There's a few dresses that I've bought that I feel, oh yeah, when I lose the weight, I'm going to put them on and I'm going to wear them. Now they're too big for me. So
Oh,
I just need to start selling them.
that's what
Um,
I've sent a bag to my mum's. Like, I bought it all, I've tried it on, and I thought they don't fit me. I've sent them to mum's. I still need to get them back to try them on to see if they are actually going to fit now, because I'm actually smaller than what I thought. Because originally I was like a 14, 16 on the bottoms, and now I'm a size bloody 10 after plastics. And I was like, that's insane considering like I was wide hipped, but because obviously I had the lipo, I'm smaller than what I am. Like these ones here, well, these make me laugh. I've got a belt, but like they're like massive. But they're my favourite. These are my favourites. I've been looking on Vinted for new look size 10 of these jeans, and like I have saved them and I will be getting them because they are my favourite. And Stephen's not keen on these, but I like them.
but for my fundraising, I'm dabbling between God knows what, like raffles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on to my episode of the podcast with yourself, and thank you for talking about your story.
Thank you for having me. And on my
No
first
worries. We will definitely be having you on again, as this is two parts, and there's probably going to be a third one. We can talk for England. But anyway, it was lovely speaking to you.
Get down is like verbal diarrhea.
Yeah, 100%. From both of us, to be fair, we can have it on for ages. But yeah, it was lovely speaking to you, and I will be seeing you very shortly at whatever event we've got.
No, brilliant. Thank you for having me, and take care.
You too. See you later.
Yeah.
Bye. I want to thank Crystal for coming on and speaking to me about all of her journey throughout her weight loss surgery. She's been an inspiration to me, and honestly, one of the best friends that I have ever made through social media and through the bariatric community. If you have a story, big or small, please don't hesitate to get in contact with me via email, lifewithjode@gmail.com. I am also available on my socials, which is at Life with Jode Official. You can watch my podcast on Podbean, Apple Music, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. I also have a YouTube version over on my channel, Life with Jode. And that's a wrap from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in another episode of Life with Jode. Bye!